Today's presentation will be reviewing the organization known as Monsanto. There will be an introduction and organizational overview. We will share a concept and its analysis, as well as action plan and recommendations for the company, and we will close with our final thoughts as a team. Monsanto is an American agrochemical and agricultural biotechnology corporation founded in 1901. While it is known as a major producer of pesticides and genetically modified crops, a series of scandals over the years has left the Monsanto reputation in an extremely unfavorable position among society. There are continuous discussions around the effects of GMOs and pesticides on both the larger scale with farming and crop tending, as well as those on a smaller scale such as used by the everyday consumer. One of the most notable instances tied to the Monsanto name is that of the product Roundup and its link to cancer. As the company works to disprove this and work to restore their reputation with society, it's been evident thus far that they may not be enough to reverse the damages already caused.
Monsanto is one of the most powerful companies attempting to shape the future of agriculture and the global food chain. Its headquarters is in St. Louis, Missouri, and has multiple locations around the world. These locations consist of administrative sales offices, manufacturing plants, seed production facilities, research centers, and learning centers, all of which focus on agriculture. Monsanto has been by far the most prominent and controversial corporation promoting the introduction of biotechnology in agriculture. They are also the first major agrochemical and pharmaceutical company to pursue the life science concept. In 1999, Monsanto merged with Farmacia and Upjohn, which was renamed Farmacia. Once Monsanto became Farmacia, it was subsidiary into a new company. The focus was on four key agricultural crops: soybeans, maize, wheat, and cotton. Monsanto has a long and messy history of manufacturing hazardous chemicals. They are looked upon as being an unethical company. It is well known to genetically modifying their seeds and crops in which to create growth hormones, which are then forced on cattle. This is the same company that produces recombinant human growth hormone, RBGH, which is injected into cows by a number of farms that have mass milk production. When this growth hormone is injected into cows, it increases milk production by 10 to 15%, and in some cases up to 40%. They are also responsible for their commodities of the Roundup Ready plant and pest killer along with genetically modified seeds, GMOs, which have a patented formula that cannot be destroyed by Roundup Ready. They basically have pesticides that won't destroy genetically modified crops. When we apply the deontology theory to GMO crops, Monsanto almost certainly does not know of any possible effects the GMO crops may have on humans in the long or short term. You would hope that once they knew, their moral duty should not allow them to keep producing it. Instead, they continue to produce and fail to disclose dioxin into their products. When we apply the utilitarian theory, it will apply to Monsanto's development of soybeans. We all know the theory states decisions should be made based on maximizing the number of happy people and have the largest possible balance of pleasure over pain. In the case with Monsanto, the cons outweighs the pros. The production of soybean may kill a number of people due to proof of some strains of genetically engineered seeds, which can cause organ failure. In this case, Monsanto is failing to understand that the soybean being created with will not maximize happiness in themselves or their customers, and the result can be very detrimental.
The agriculture sector is at the forefront of one of humanity's biggest problems. The world population is expected to grow from 7.2 billion people to 11 billion people by the year 2100. 100. Meanwhile, shifting climate conditions will have large impacts on rainfall and temperature patterns, leading to a projected deadline in crop yields. Monsanto, the global seed market leader, is in a prime position to address this challenge. Given the right investments, this wicked problem could become a major growth opportunity for Monsanto. Monsanto is a $15 billion company that specializes in global seeds and crop protection segments. Their flagship product, Roundup, is an herbicide that kills weeds in order to increase crop yields. Since weeds and other pests thrive under warmer temperatures, climate change presents an opportunity for Monsanto to generate large profits. As long as they invest enough money in the Roundup product to stay ahead of the herbicide-resistant weeds. Last year, Monsanto invested $1.5 billion in R&D, with much of this research going towards improved formulations of the Roundup herbicide. Currently, 1/3 of greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change come from agriculture, and many of the effects of climate change, such as drought, severe weather, rising sea levels, pest infestations, and comprised harvests and flooding, are expected to decrease average crop yields and reduce nutritional value. Therefore, farmers have a large incentive to work with the suppliers like Monsanto to halt greenhouse gas emissions and prevent declining crop yields. And Monsanto is incentivized to position itself as the supplier of choice for farmers through operational changes. In its 2015 sustainability report, Monsanto announced 5 operational initiatives to position itself as a climate change leader. Number 1, make footprint carbon neutral by 2021 through operational changes, and examples being improving heat recovery flow in crop protection facilities in combination with farmer programs and incentives. Number 2, reduce greenhouse gas emissions from crop protection operations by 22% by 2020. Number 3, begin development of a farmer education and incentive program for carbon neutral crop production. Number 4, partner with Walmart to manage nutrient applications more effectively and curb greenhouse gas emissions on 1 million U.S. crop acres by 2020. And number 5, increase irrigation water application efficiency across global seed production operation by 25% by 2020. In conclusion, while these initiatives are a good start, they primarily focus on reducing the carbon footprint and greenhouse gases of Monsanto's own operations. Efforts to reduce farmers' carbon footprint due to crop production are in infant stages. Therefore, the agriculture industry will continue to contribute large quantities of greenhouse gases that will lower future crop yields, putting farmers in a precarious position. If Monsanto really wants to generate goodwill with farmers, they should accelerate the development of their own farmer programs and incentives that reduce greenhouse gases from crop production. Monsanto has taken steps to concentrate its power and influence in the agricultural industry. In future years, as demand increases and yields decline, if Monsanto is able to provide effective herbicides and patented seeds that offer improved adaptation to climate conditions, they stand to make a lot of money. However, their steps to consolidate their position and influence create a risk of farmer backlash, and some argue that their new scale may stifle innovation through bureaucracy. Many startups are obtaining funding to explore technologies and business models that differ from Monsanto's approach. One startup, Indigo Agriculture, has obtained $156 million in venture funding to experiment with biologicals that isolate good bacteria and add them back into plants to stimulate crop growth and yield. Indigo's business model is also farmer-friendly, tying the cost of the technology to a measurable increase in crop yields. Time will tell whether Monsanto's big budget, genetically modified crops approach, or Indigo's agile farmer-friendly approach will be best suited for addressing the coming global food shortage. However, in the meantime, Monsanto may want to increase R&D into biologicals being explored by startups while piloting yield-based pricing approaches with farmers to increase goodwill without decreasing margins.